Hello, this is Riley Porter with Seattle Sumo. You are listening to a commentary track for the 1964 Hatsu Basho, Day 3. There will be a link for the official video coverage for this tournament in the description for this video, and it is locked behind a $9 membership wall on the Japan Sumo Association's YouTube channel. If you are a member of that channel, you'll have no problem. Of course, this commentary is free. As usual, in order to synchronize this commentary video with the official video coverage, I will count backwards from 3, 2, 1. As I hit the N in 1, you'll click play. I'll do the same, and we'll be in sync. Well, without further ado, we'll get the countdown started and begin the video. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Futabayama, Taiho, Shianofuji, Archive. Alrighty, well, to begin today, we have the west side Makunochi Dohyo Iri. There's Yutakayama, Kitabayama bringing up the rear here. And they're leaving the dohyo. So to sort of amend what I said yesterday, I think I implied they didn't leave in the order they came. They are leaving in the order they came off the dohyo, but as I said, they're not doing kind of a caterpillar around the ring. They're just leaving in the straightest line possible. Well, there we go. That's the west side. Yesterday we got the east side, so we got to see a couple of angles to the same deal. The first matchup is between Kyokuni and Wakanaruto. They have a 1-1 head-to-head, but Kyokuni already has 2 wins, where Wakanaruto has none so far in this basho. They're off. Kyokuni blasts in. He's got an inside right now. He's pressuring Wakanaruto on the edge and finishes him Yoritaoshi. So, Kyokuni, I think, pretty well had that match from the get-go. Good tachiai, good forward movement. It's his 3rd consecutive win. Wakanaruto his 3rd consecutive loss. And Kyokuni pulls ahead in their personal rivalry. Now we have Wakamiyama against Kanye Ohana. This is their first time meeting. Wakamiyama, of course, being new to the division. On paper, it's hard to say who would win this one, so we'll see. Kanye Ohana blasts in, gets to work on the throat. Wakamiyama pulls the arm in and grabs that outside left. He inches forward, but no dice. Kanye Ohana is deep inside with that left now. He's got a motozashi. Good position. He's pumping it with that gut. Dropping his hips, moving forward. Kanye Ohana very aggressive, but couldn't quite finish the job. Now Wakamiyama, locked in with that inside right, hooking the other arm. He's stable. So will he be able to make an attack, finish this? They are waiting. Shifting ever so slightly. Well, what's the game plan here? I would guess Wakamiyama wants to just do this yorikiri. I don't picture him as a thrower, really. Kanye Ohana, I think he'll probably want to resume his game plan of also doing this yorikiri, so this is vintage Yotsuzumo. Kanye Ohana inches closer. Little tilting. No dice. Kanye Ohana is a relatively experienced belt fighter. He shouldn't be totally out of options here, even against such a large opponent. Though I wouldn't count on him for any kind of fancy leg work. The stalemate continues. Wakamiyama leaning, sapping the energy of the smaller man. So close quarters, I would really bet on him, and he barrels in, pumps the gut. He's got Kanye Ohana on the edge, drops his hips, finishes him. Yorikiri. Wakamiyama gets his 3rd consecutive win. Off to a great start in his Makunochi career. So good effort from both Rikishi. Kanye Ohana, at the beginning phase of that bout, really looked like he had a pretty good chance of finishing the youngster from Tatsunami, but we'll see if he can get his first win tomorrow. Now, Dewan Ishiki against Aranami, a longtime veteran against someone unable yet to establish themselves in the top division. Let's see what happens here. Aranami's quick. He pushes up. Dewan Ishiki holds still, more or less. Now he's moving forward. Swinging with that scoop. Aranami pushes back. Now he's pulling. Trying to work on that shallow outside right. Dewan Ishiki leaning in. Looks like he's a bit more in gear now. This is his position. A little leg sweep attempt there. Aranami stretching himself out. Trying to find a good attacking angle here, but Dewan Ishiki, one of the best defensive dikishi in this division. Circling. Swings, does Dewan Ishiki. Tries for that shitate nage, but somehow I don't really picture that happening. I would think a yorikiri would be his best bet, but Aranami, he's pretty light on his feet. Keeping the pace of the bout up. Dewan Ishiki charges in, swings more. Aranami returns, tries a little outside foot sweep. Pulls, and now they're synced up back in the middle here. Dewan Ishiki drives in, gut thrusting, and Aranami walks them back to the middle. Well, this is a plodding bout to be sure. Aranami's digging the head in. Dewan Ishiki maintains his resistance. Dewan Ishiki pulls away, tries to make that inside throw happen again. Aranami pulls back, now a yorikiri, and he finishes it. So Aranami can count that as the second Makunochi level opponent he's beaten in Dewan Ishiki. So interesting contrast there between a veteran, very underpowered, past his prime, against a Sekitori that's doesn't seem to have the power to beat a lot of Sekitori. Ogiyama against Tochiyama. It's a 1-4 head-to-head in Tochiyama's favor, so he's the man to bet on. Now a low hit from Ogiyama, and Tochiyama on his side, on his left side, and pushes him out, but the nod goes to Ogiyama. A little hard to follow there at the end, but it did look like Tochiyama might have collapsed before Ogiyama was well out of the ring, so one of those last-ditch shoves that didn't quite make it in time. Uragawa against Tsurugamine. It's a 2-0 head-to-head in Uragawa's favor, believe it or not. The younger, less experienced Dikishi. Tsurugamine looking for his first win today. Even start on the Tachiai, Tsurugamine's looking for that Morozashi already, but he's got to settle for an outside left, inside right. Uragawa pulling his hips back, guarding himself well. Tsurugamine twisting, pulling, and now pushing in for a Yori, and looked to me like he got it. Yorikiri. So the Izutsu veteran gets his first win of the Basho. Him and Uragawa leave with the same score today, 1-2. And that would be Tsurugamine's first win in their head-to-head between him and the man from Miyagino. The Miyagino stable, that is. Now we've got Wakahaguro, former Ozeki, in his first time meeting with Kitano Fuji, who's on a 20-bout winning streak. And jumps the gun here. So we'll have to try that again. Pretty eager is the Shinyumaku. Now we try it again, diving into the chest, thrusting, and then quickly pulling is Kitano Fuji. Now Wakahaguro tries the same, but his pull, it turns to disaster as Kitano Fuji whips around and tosses him down with an Uwate Nage. So that Migi Uwate, that outside right, pretty strong stuff. The 21st consecutive win logged for Kitano Fuji. His third straight of his Makunochi debut. So both are Makunochi debutantes. Debutees, however you might say it. Wakamiyama and Kitano Fuji are off to 3-0 here in the first fifth of the Basho. So looking promising. Wakanami is against Kairyuyama. It's a 1-0 head-to-head in Kairyuyama's favor. So doesn't really inform this match too much, I would say. Even start, Wakanami pushes on the chest, but Kairyuyama bears down on him, and an Uchari from Wakanami tilting and throwing Kariuyama behind him as they fell. He gets the nod from the Gyoji and no protest. No indication of a question or a doubt from the Shinpan. So Wakanami, a successful Uchari, gets his second win. I can't say I'm awfully surprised. Wakanami is a wrestler with a strong back. And it's pretty good at Uchari. Not someone you want to be careless with on the ring's edge. So, now our next match is between Amatsukaze and Husanishki. It's a 2-5 head-to-head in Husanishki's favor. A little more accomplished between the two. Husanishki hits the chest with his hands and is pulling on the arm. A little more pulling, and I think one pull too many. Amatsukaze finishes him Oshidashi, push out. So, not a terrible tachiai from Husanishki, but he seemed to get a little flustered there. Couldn't quite get his footwork in order, I think. Amatsukaze kind of made all the going, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. Tsuninishiki is against Sawahikari. It's their first meeting. So we'll see what happens. Neither has a win yet. Tsuninishiki jumps the gun. We'll have to try the tachiai once more. Sawahikari's not has much time in the top division as Tsuninishiki, but is maybe a more promising prospect overall. Tsuninishiki jumps the gun once more. Couple little bunny hops out there, so we'll try this. Third time's the charm. And here we go. Sawahikari pulls up on the throat. Settles for the inside left. Tsuninishki's twisting around, and with that outside right, he finishes Sawahikari Yorikiri. Tsuninishiki, maybe psyching out his younger, less experienced opponent, gets his first win of the Basho. So good for the Dewan veteran. Never really been a big fixture here in the top division, but showing his experience. Sawahikari, he'll try to get that first win tomorrow. Toyokuni is against Hirokawa. And their head-to-head is 3-4. Hirokawa with the edge. Hirokawa at a good angle, pushing up on the throat, thrusting, and now pulling back. Toyokuni returns fire. Hirokawa resumes the attack. Finishes Toyokuni. Tsuki Otoshi. Thrusting crush out. So Hirokawa gets his third consecutive win. Good for the Miyagi-no Dikishi. Gets some Kensho Kin. There's his Oyakata, his Shisho, Yoshibayama, giving him a nod. And the Shinpan are shuffling out, so we'll get a change here of the judges. Good timing for Hirokawa, huh? His Shisho get to see the win. And he has to stand there waiting around as the new round of judges come in. I can't say I recognize whoever this Shinpan is here in the middle of the frame. Wish that I did. In any event, our next match is between Crouching Tiger Iwakaze and Shin Komosubi Kotozakura, the sole representative for the Sarugatake stable. Now, low start for Iwakaze as usual. Kotozakura is left a little high and dry here. He's hooking on the arm. He'd like that belt, but it's pretty far away. Iwakaze's pressing up on the ribs. Kotozakura leaning into him. Being patient. Not getting flustered here in an awkward position. Looks like he'll want that outside. Pulls up. Digs in. Iwakaze goes to finish it, but can't quite. Keeps his head dug in there. Keeps that low angle that he likes to work from. Kotozakura not given a lot to work with here. Defensively, he's doing fine, but can't quite get that grip on the belt that I'm sure he'd like at the moment. He's leaning on him. Kotozakura leaning on Iwakaze. The Gyoji eyeing that Sagari. I'm sure he'd like to zip in there and snatch that. Kotozakura tries to pull up Iwakaze again. Iwakaze presses in and finishes Kotozakura, whose foot doesn't quite catch the bail and he just slides out. Iwakaze gets his second win, Kotozakura his second loss. and that's Iwakaze's fourth straight win over the Sarugatake Dikishi. So Kotozakura is yet to beat the Wakamatsu veteran, but may yet have more luck in his Sanyaku debut. Kainoyama, another Shin Komosubi, but not Shin Sanyaku. Last time he was up here, he was a Sekiwake. This is his first time at the lower rank. Here against Hagoroyama, dives across, fishing for that inside right. Hagoroyama's already got that outside left. Kainoyama, he wants the outside. Not quite there. Hagoroyama inches forward and then scoots back. Remembers himself. Makikai grip change. Now Kainoyama's got a Morozashi, but will it be enough to save him on the edge? No. Sorogake, outside leg trip from Hagoroyama, seals the deal, and he crushes out Kainoyama. Gets his first one of the Basho. So good for Hagoroyama, the former Anenyama. And that's his fifth win against Kainoyama in 8 meetings total. So the edge, certainly in their head-to-head. Kainoyama having some trouble here at the Komusubi rank. Now it's Daigo against Aonosato. It's a 12-9 head-to-head in Daigo's favor, so plenty of meetings and relatively close. Daigo comes in low, slashes inside with that left. He's left a little awkward with that outside right, but no matter. Hooks on the leg and finishes Aonosato Yorikiri. So frenetic sumo there. Both Dikishi very active in this bout, but Daigo, the senior wrestler, comes out ahead and gets his third straight win, so maybe he'll be looking for a breakout performance here at Sekiwake. He's been at the rank for a few Basho, but has yet to really post any major results or really mount a challenge for Oozeki, so it would be nice to see him build on this early momentum. Now, Wakachichibu is against Oozeki Yutakayama. It's a 3-8 head-to-head in Yutakayama's favor, so odds certainly favor the Oozeki in this matchup, and Wakachichibu without any wins to his name yet, not looking great. Pushing up his Yutakayama, and he's already got Wakachichibu on the edge, and Wakachichibu with a beautiful Uchari, tilting and dragging around to the side Yutakayama, leaving that long left leg of his to scrape the dohyo. So, Wakachichibu certainly overpowered off the Tachiai, but he did not give up, held on at the edge, and got his first one of the Basho. So, Yutakayama, embarrassed in this bout, I would say, certainly, and looking very doubtful to be a Yusho contender. Tochi no Umi is against Tama Arashi. They have an even head-to-head of 2-2. Tochi no Umi doesn't want to make any more mistakes, especially at this phase of the Basho, so I think he'll be looking to dominate the Maegashira. And swings around, Okuri Dashi, finishes the bout in the blink of an eye. Well, that was really something else. Very speedy sumo. Tochinomi leaps around, is behind Tama Arashi in half a second, and finishes him without any real resistance. So Tochinomi gets his second win. Tama Arashi yet to get his first. The Oozeki, defending champion, looking to restore some confidence here, and I think he's doing just that. Good stuff. Let's see how his stablemate Tochi Hikari here does against Myobudani. Myobudani, Maegashira 4, fighting in the Joi. Difficult schedule. I think he's composed himself decently well. Tochi Hikari. 2-0. Dives in, good angle, and pushes out Myobudani Oshidashi. So a great Tachiai, great Dayashi. Toshi Hikari overwhelms his Maegashira opponent. Goes to his third straight victory. Both Kasugano Ozeki looking great the last 2 days. Good to see. Maybe they'll inspire some more spirit lower down the Banzuke, where their stablemate Wakanaruto is struggling some. Ogi no Hana is against Kitabayama. They're both 1-1 in this Basho so far. It's a 4-16 head-to-head, 20 meetings, and Kitabayama has won 16 of them. Well, let's see, he should be looking to come in head first, and he does just that. Decent enough angle, but he's on an outside right now. He's cupping the back of the neck. That doesn't look good. Swinging, and now going to finish Yorikiri. Oh, but Uchari from Oki no Hana, and that looked to me pretty cut and dry Oki no Hana's victory. So Kitabayama, his second loss, 3 days in. Not looking his best. Oki no Hana gets his second win. His fifth victory against the Tokitsukaze Ozeki. So good ring sense. Good flexing of the back muscle. Yeah, good effort from the Dewan Umi man. Speaking of Dewan Umi, here's Aonoyama, their top Dikishi, up against Haguro Hana. They've had 16 meetings, and Aonoyama has won 11 of them, so he certainly has the edge in their rivalry. He's on a clean opening so far in this boss show. Haguro Hana struggling here at Sekiwake. Comes in lower to Aonoyama, gets to pushing, keeps Haguro Hana from getting onto the belt, but in the end settles on an outside right and swings him down, Uwate Nage. So Aonoyama, very aggressive, very dynamic sumo. Haguro Hana's pretty strong on the belt. So Aonoyama had the right idea, I think, starting this out with the pushing, but when it looked like that wasn't going to do, he changed tactics and won out in the end. So Aonoyama, third straight win, looking very good. Should get double digits, I think, at this rate. Now, Maedagawa, 1-1. The top man for Takasago against Kashiwado. The Yokozuna's on a good start, 2-0. Their head-to-head is 3-2 in Kashiwado's favor, so he has the edge, but has also had some trouble with the Maegashira Dikishi in front of him. Maedagawa slashes in with the right. Kashiwado barrels down on him and finishes Maedagawa Yoritaoshi. Maybe Tsukitaoshi, not like super close script there, but in any event, Kashiwado pretty well overpowered the smaller man. Maedagawa is the shortest Dikishi in this division, so he looks doubly so next to Kashiwado, who's maybe second tallest, next to Myobudani and Yutakayama. In any event, the Yokozuna looking strong today. Looking solid here in the opening. Taiho is against Fuji-Nishiki. They've had 16 meetings. Taiho has won 13 of them. Given the form that he's been in the last couple of days, I would certainly expect him to win this bout. Fuji-Nishiki will want to hit as hard as possible, I think, off the Tachi. I do not foresee Taiho in any way trying to skirt the opening or step to the side, so Fuji-Nishiki should be looking to hit as hard as possible on the chest and moving forward. If he can't finish this bout in his first initial attack, I think he's pretty much cooked. So we'll see. And hits hard, but bounces off Taiho to Fuji-Nishiki, tries some pulling, and Taiho returns the favor, pulling back. Looked to me like Hataki Komi, slap down. Taiho, like Kashiwado, gets his third straight win, so the Yokozuna are clean so far, which is good to see. Not a bad day of sumo. Well, thank you for joining me.